Welcome, I hope all is well. And we're gonna go over slicing and indexing in numpy arrays. So first we're gonna index a 1D array. So let's create an array. Create a variable np.array. In brackets, we put blocks and we put our values. Now let's call out our array. And you see here we made our array. So if we want to index, let's say we want to get the 7th value, we will just type in the index position inside of block brackets. So 0, 1, 2. And this is in the second position. Let's press. And you see we get 7. Let's get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in the 5th position. If we want this 3, we would have to put 0. So now let's move on to slicing. And similar to this, we use the start, stop, and step position inside of square brackets. So now let's do that. So let's say I want from the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. From the 4th index to the rest of my lists. R2, colon, and we leave that blank, which means that it's going to get the rest of the values in the list. And you see we started from the 4th position. Let's say I want from the 6th to the 8th. So the 6th is in the 1st position. And the 8 is in the 0, 1, 2, 3. And it's in the 3rd position. But with the step value, but with the stop value, the index is exclusive. So 0, 1, 2, 3. We would have to actually put 4 here. Because in the stop argument, the indexing is exclusive. So let's run that. And you see we got what we wanted. From the 1st position to the 4th. If we want, we could also reverse the array by putting a -1 step. And let's run that. Oh, we need to add our stop and our stop. So we're getting everything in the array, but we're just reversing it with a -1 step. Let's run that. And you see it's reversed. So now let's move on to slicing in a 2D array. I'm just going to copy something I already have and paste it in. And this is a 2D array. So let's look at that. Then you see we have our 2-dimensional array. So index and slicing in 2D arrays requires rows and columns index. So R2. And let's say we want this 50, 0, 1. So it's the index position of 1 and the 50, 0, 1. And this will also be 1. And let's run that. And you see we get the 50. Let's say we wanted to get the 69. 0, 1, 2. The index position is 2. And the column is 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's put 3 and we get 69. Let's do some slicing examples. So R2. And let's say we want to get the last row. We would start from the 0, 1, 2. From the index position 2, we put our colon and we leave it blank because we want all the remaining from position 2. But we don't have any more, so it's going to bring the last row. So 0, 1, 2. And then the next argument is the columns. So we said we want all the columns. So to do that, we just put our colons and we don't put anything in front or behind it. And let's run that. And you see we got our last row. Let's get the first row. So our first row is in index position 0. So we want to start from 0. And remember, the stop argument, it's exclusive. We would have to put 1 if we wanted this last row, because if we count 0, 1, the stop argument is exclusive and it will bring back this first row. So now let's run that. And for the columns, we're going to leave this because we want all our columns. And let's run that. And you see we got the first row. Let's say we want from index position 50 to down. We would count our indexing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we leave the stop argument blank. And let's run that. And you got 50, 37, and 4. Let's say we want from 0, 1, 1. Let's say we want from 6 to 8. So the index position is 0, 1, 2, 3. It's exclusive, so we will have to put 4. Remember, at the right side in the column, the stop position is exclusive. So we want 8, 0, 1, 2, 3, but we have to put 4. So from 6, 7, and 8. And let's run this. And you see we got 6, 7, 8. Let's say if we want this row and this row. So we start 0, 1. So we'll erase this. And we want to start from our 1. And we're going to leave it blank. And it's going to get the rest of the rows in the array. And then I said we want from here to here. So the index would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So let's put 3 right here. We're starting from 3 and we're gonna go down the rest of our columns. So let's run that. And like I said, we got these values here. Let me do one more example. Let's say we want to get the middle row. We would start with 1 and we want to end at 0, 1, 2. So we'll put 2 here, but it's gonna bring up our 1 index because the stop is exclusive. This is highlighting row 2 or 0, 1, the row in the 1 index. And then let's remove this 3 to get all the columns in that row. So let's run that. And you see we got it here. Let's say we want to get 52 to 20. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we put 5 here. The start index is not exclusive. So let's run that. And you see we got those 2 values here. So now let's move on to Boolean array indexing. First, let me copy this. See. Let me just change this to 1. And let's run that. So let's create a conditional statement that returns a Boolean array. So we put R1. Let's put more than 3. And let's run that. And you see where, so 3 is not more than 3, so we get a false. And all the rest of these values is more than 3, so we get a true. We can also filter out to only bring the values that's more than 3. And so we do this by surrounding this in block brackets and putting our variable in front. And let's run that. And you see it only brings the values that's more than 3. So the same with the 2D array. R2, let's look at that. Let's do conditional statement. R2 is more than 10, and it will bring us true and false values. False where it's less than 10, true where it's more than 10. And now let's only extract the values. And let's run that. And you see a flattened 1D array is returned when we filter Boolean array. So let's look at the shape of this. Let me just copy it, paste it. Let me write dot shape. And we see it tells us that it is a 1D array with 12 elements. We can reshape it back to a 2D array with the reshape function. So let me paste this, dot reshape. And in between brackets, we put the amount of rows and columns that we want. So let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm gonna give this 2 rows and 6 columns. And let's run that. And now you see our array has been reshaped.